Ciao, my dear friend. Welcome. So today I would like to chat a little bit about how do we even begin creating a regular yoga practice. And I'm coming from a place today where I have not been practicing for a few months. A number of personal reasons. It's just life, sometimes you're too busy, sometimes you just don't feel like it. Sometimes even somebody who has been doing yoga for years, for more than 10 years, somebody who is a yoga teacher, sometimes you just fall a bit out of love. It doesn't feel right to hop on the mat and do what you're used to do. So I'm coming from this place of maybe a bit of guilt, of wow, I'm supposed to be teaching people, and I cannot even have a regular practice myself. So first of all, it's called a yoga practice, not a yoga perfect. So let's cut ourselves some slack. Need to remind myself of this as well. But the point is really, let's go on this journey together, as I'm also trying to recreate a routine around yoga and recreate a regular practice. So first of all, how often do we even do yoga and why? And I would say that there isn't really a rule, and it would be important to explore for yourself what serves you best. We are not doing this because of a book where it's written inside that we should do this. We are not doing this because a guru is telling us to behave a certain way, at least not in my yoga and in what I would like to share with you. We are doing this because we know it's something that we need, that helps us live our best life, that helps us to know ourselves and to live in our body and to truly live. So this is really the motivation to the yoga. So I think this is the first step, right? To ask yourself, why do you want to do this? And this is going to be your anchor every time you wake up in the morning and you kind of don't want to do anything, or you had a shitty day and you kind of don't want to do anything. So if you have a clear anchor, then you're able to move past that activation energy, move past that initial hurdle, and just get going with it. Because oftentimes, and this happens to me all the time, when we know that we should do something because it's helpful for us, because it's for our own good, starting is the hardest part. And then once we get going, then it just happens. And before you know it, it's over. And before you know it, you actually enjoyed that time with yourself, with your own body, exploring what you need to do today. Not because somebody else is telling you that this is what you should do, but because you are listening to your body and you know what you need. You're meeting your own needs. So for me, this is very much what it's about for my own practice. I know that when I do regular movement, regular time for myself, regular meditation, regular yoga, I'm happier. Everything works better. I'm able to work through difficult emotions, difficult moments in my day. I'm able to manage my stress much better. I'm able to keep some distance between me and the horrible things that happen sometimes in the world as well, and the challenging people we may find. So this regularity in the practice, I know that it's really because it's for my own good. And so the point is, okay, how do we start again? And I would say, let's use the same strategy regardless of whether you are a total beginner, you've never done yoga, you don't even know where to start, you're just looking on YouTube for a video because somebody told you that it's nice. Or somebody like me, even, who after more than 10 years and a yoga teaching certificate, I spent the last 4 months trying to do yoga and just not feeling like it. And so the first step for me is to clarify your motive, your anchor, your why, and create with it a simple mantra that you can use. And it can really be anything that kind of motivates you to take the next step. So for me, it could be something like, yes, you don't want to now, but afterwards, you know, you're going to feel great. So acknowledging that you don't want to, but you know that afterwards you're going to feel great. Or maybe, I do it because I want to live a long and happy life. I do it because I love myself. Try to find something that really speaks to you. After you have this clear in your mind that you're committed on this journey and that you can use this little sentence, this little mantra when you feel that resistance. Sometimes this resistance is just like accompanying your inner child into making this next step that you're kind of scared about, right? So a child that doesn't want to brush their teeth, but it's so important, so you as a parent, you kind of have to help them go through it, even though there's a bit of resistance. So I like to sometimes, to parent myself and to build this image of this kind of interaction with myself in my mind, so that I say, okay, I know, Rossana, you don't want to do it, but it's good for you. Let's go. Come on. With a lot of kindness and self-compassion. Like, okay, yeah, you had a shit day. This sucks. Let's go. Let's roll out your mat. It's okay. So kind of, just parenting myself a little bit. So the next step is then to understand what your current life is like and where you can realistically inject some yoga time. Yes, sometimes you may hear on the internet or from yoga teachers or from books that, you're supposed to do 1 hour of yoga every day as soon as you wake up. It can work for somebody. I am trying to do it in the morning as well, because I know that it's probably the only time in my current routine, with work, with other situations and the things I have to do every day, it's probably the only time where I can actually dedicate this time for myself. So my first suggestion regarding this is just be kind to yourself. Look at your calendar this week and say, okay, I think I'm going to have 10 minutes here. Okay, and let's try. Of course, having the exact same routine every day is usually helpful, because you could say, for example, okay, in the evening after dinner, I'm going to brush my teeth, get in my pajama, and then do yoga. It's a sequence that perhaps you're going to do every evening. So that could work nicely. Or in the morning, you could say, I am going to do some yoga in my bed. First things first, as soon as I wake up. I don't even, change my clothes or whatever, nothing. 5 minutes for myself, some gentle movements in bed. You don't even need a yoga mat. Or it could be as soon as you come back from work, right? Whatever it is that you decide, let's try it for some time and then come back to it and say, okay, is this actually working for me? Is this serving me or not? And sometimes when we try to get into a new habit and we initially fail, we get really hard on ourselves and we think, I should be able to do this by now, or why I'm not able to stick with it. And we get, we are not talking to ourselves as if we are our friends. And instead we should be our friends. So for me, this is what I decided to do in the morning. I'm a diesel engine, I like to say, so I'm quite slow to begin. And if I don't have a routine in the morning for the first 2 or 3 hours even, I'm totally able to not do anything. And I don't even know where my time goes. But I really cherish the slow mornings. So I don't want to pack a ton of things at 6 a.m., right? So for the next week, I'm going to just try very gently with myself to wake up, go to the bathroom, fetch a glass of water, and put on the yoga clothes or any comfy clothes. You don't need a specific outfit. You can use any clothes that allow you to move nicely, right? So I'm going to put these clothes that I will have prepared the day before going to bed, so that there is no activation energy. There is nothing that is an impediment there. And then if I'm hungry, sometimes I'm immediately hungry, I will have my coffee and my breakfast. And usually when I sip my coffee, I study French. So I'm going to do that because it's already my routine. And then, doesn't matter what happens, I'm going to come here, roll out my mat, and do something. It doesn't matter if it's a full sequence, if I sweat, if I do specific things. I'm just trying to slowly rebuild the habit of, in the morning, I roll out my mat, I sit here, and maybe I just move a little bit and do some stretches, right? Rebuilding the habit. Maybe I have only 10 minutes. Maybe I have only 5. It does not matter how long. What matters is that I do it. That's it. If I'm not hungry and I don't want to the coffee immediately, I'm going to do yoga at that point. So just water, dress, yoga. And I'm going to have my breakfast after. So I build in some flexibility in this new yoga routine. So I'm going to try. I tried the first thing this morning before filming this video, and I feel very good actually. When I do it, this is also the third, I don't remember how many things I said. This is also something that I really want to point out. Remember how you feel after. Really take a second to say, okay, nice. I feel like my joints are oiled up and I'm ready to go. I feel a bit kinder to myself. I feel like, today I discovered that my body can do this or that. Nice. This positive feeling that yoga brought up and that your new movement or meditation routine brought up, it's something that you need to remember so that next time you can include it in your mantra and say, I know that you don't want to now, you feel like it's a chore, it's something you have to do, but remember how you felt last time. And that always helps me, I have to say. Especially when I had to go to the gym and I had to basically take the metro, and it was very annoying to having to travel, and it was winter, it was cold, bleh. I always said to myself, after, you're going to feel amazing. You never regret starting. So let's talk about how often to do yoga and for how long. If you're able to start every day, great. Aim for that. Especially if you don't do any other sports, any other event, any other, anything else, then it's very helpful because it's easier to build a routine, right? It becomes natural, basically. And after a while, you don't even have to think about it. But you don't have to do it every day just because yogis do it every day, right? There isn't a yoga Bible, right? You don't have to do anything. And I would say that most teachers feel after a while that you really miss it, that you miss moving your body. And so that you need to do it. So maybe it's after 2 days that you didn't do anything, then you really feel this craving for specific movements. So this is the approach that I'm going to use as well with myself. I'm going to start with rebuilding a routine every day. This is probably going to work out very well during the week, but maybe during the weekend, if I am doing other things, it doesn't actually fit nicely. I don't wake up at the same time. I have a much more flexible day, or I may do some, some high energy activity or something that, I get very tired afterwards, which could be climbing or a very long hike or whatever. So, or maybe I'm invited to travel and go somewhere with a friend, right? So don't be too hard on yourself. For a couple of days, if you want to really take the weekend off yoga, it's fine. But on Monday, you get back into the routine, right? So the point that most yoga teacher will tell you, I think, is to not go without for too long. Every 2 days, I'd say, you will really feel that you need it for your body and your mind. So this is my recommendation. Start every day, but don't beat yourself up if you're missing it for a few days. How long to do yoga? Any yoga is good yoga, okay? So again, here it's about the discipline, the practice. It's about coming back here on your mat as often as you can and doing something and listening, having this opportunity to listen to yourself, to take advantage of the silence and this dedicated moment that you are creating to go inward. This is my body. What do I need? What is this moment telling me I need? And it's an opportunity for you to work on yourself in any way that you want. So again, the point is not to reach a specific time or to finish a specific sequence. For sure, some yoga traditions will say, for example, that you have a very fixed sequence. And by all means, if that's what you like, you can try that. I was practicing Ashtanga yoga for a bit, and I found it very soothing to have this predictability of the same routine and therefore probably the same time. But you don't have to. Explore with curiosity what your body wants and what you can do and what you're interested in, and just discover whatever is coming up, right? It's like, I really like this image of, there is a pool of water, a body of water, a lake, a pond that is very, very quiet, and you can see your reflection in it. And I like this image of asking, by throwing a pebble in it, and asking, anything. What do I need to do? What serves me right now? What am I feeling? Anything, depending on your situation. And this pebble disturbs the bottom of the pond, where the truth lies, let's say. And something comes up. Maybe you disturbed a fish, or maybe something else. I don't know. I really like this image. And you sometimes need to wait a little bit. You have all this, there's ripples in the water, these little waves, and maybe something comes up, maybe not immediately, maybe immediately. Or maybe you need to ask a few times and throw a few pebbles. Or maybe just by looking at the waves calming, that's already your answer. So I like to use this metaphor to describe what happens inside me during the yoga practice. So sometimes you want to stay a long time to see what surfaces, what comes to the surface. And sometimes instead you want to throw the pebble and just don't even look. You want to go away and whatever. And it's okay. Respect yourself. So the goal is to just be here for a little bit, do something, and see how you react, to adjust depending on what you need. And here as well, I would encourage you to be, to explore and be curious without any judgment, because maybe you realize that you actually enjoy a very long, slow practice, or maybe you like to change it depending on the day. And maybe someday you just have 10 minutes and that's all you have to do because you have your kids and work and stuff. And that counts. Yes, that counts too. So, I would like to start today with you. I've done already my little practice this morning, but especially if you're a total beginner, or if you're not doing any other type of physical activity, I want to show you a little practice that you can start with, so that you just begin exploring again this world and your body, and in a very safe way, so that you don't jump in something too big just because it's very exciting. Sometimes we do it, right? Oh yes, I want to run a marathon or whatever, and we set ourselves this crazy goal, but we never ran before, and we want to do it every day. Right? Whoa. Especially if you are not super young, if you're not super fit, or if you're heavier, it's important to take care of your body properly and to build up respecting your body, especially considering that the tendons are tissues that take quite a long time to change, to develop, to heal, right? So I'm being very mindful of this because I've had an injury in the past, not caused by yoga at all, but that was horrible and basically created a bunch of problems for years. So this is why I teach functional yoga. It's not about how it looks, it's about how it feels, It's about the function that the pose has in your body. So let's begin, and I'm going to walk you through it and talk you through it. So, staying sitting for this long, actually, my butt hurts. Another thing that I think is wonderful if you're a beginner is to have a pillow. Blocks, but also honestly, you don't have to buy stuff, okay? Just grab a ton of pillows, and whenever something hurts and you want to be super comfy, just use the pillow. So, example, we are going to start on all fours, and I'm going to use the pillow under my right knee because today it's hurting, and so I want some cushion there, and I want to hold my weight over there, okay? So on our all fours, tabletop position, this means hands and knees in a sort of square shape, right? And we want our wrists to be below our shoulders, okay, in a straight line. And let's begin by noticing our hands and our fingers, because here we are putting a bit of weight on our wrists, so we want to kind of grab the mat and really dig our fingers and our fingertips in it, so that we're not just planting our hands passively, okay, we are really using all the little muscles in our hands and creating a sort of arch in our palm and fingers. Breathe. Just be present for a moment. And notice how you're pushing yourself up, away from the earth. And this kind of creates this energy coming up from your hands through your shoulders. Now, same thing with your feet and your legs. So we want to put our knees roughly hip width apart, and just feel how it feels. Is this good? Do we need to change the position a little bit? So I am having the knee and the feet in a straight line, let's say parallel to the long edge of the mat, but perhaps depending on your anatomy in your hips, you need to widen your legs a bit, and maybe you even want your feet to almost touch, and this is a much more comfortable position. I would say, especially if you have a big belly, maybe you're pregnant or you're just fat, then having some more space by widening the knees, it's often very nice. So let's stay here a little bit. Notice our spine. Breathe deeply. And when you inhale, I want you to drop your belly and look forward, arching your back. And when you exhale, suck your belly in and create a dome with your back towards the ceiling, letting your neck relax, trying almost to look at your navel, at your belly button, and thinking about having your belly button touch your spine, using your deep core muscles. Exhale. And move between these two positions, a U shape and a dome shape. This is cat-cow. Exhale to arch your back and inhale to look forward. Think about pushing slightly your chest forward as well to really open through the collarbone. And exhale, push on your hands to arch your back towards the ceiling. Really focus your movement, synchronizing it with the breath. Inhale, look up. Exhale, arch your back. And really notice your shoulders, the movement that they have to do to allow all of this to happen. Find what feels good, really, so insist wherever your body says, oh, this is nice, this is what I need today. If you feel pain, we don't want that. So try to adjust the position, for example, of your hands as well. Maybe you want your hands to rotate externally towards the outside of the mat. Maybe that allows you to have more space, or to widen the stance. Maybe that allows you to have more space to drop the chest when you inhale. Let's sit back to take a pause for our wrists. If you're not used to putting the weight on the wrists, maybe they are a little bit, just you can feel them, let's say. So let's rotate them and move them in any way that feels good. It's like trying to move all the joints, all the little joints you have that you often don't think about during your day. So now we are aware of them. If your knees hurt, another thing you can do is to double up your mat. So I'm going to do basically to triple up, I guess. I'm going to do this movement. I have no idea how to explain it. Okay, to basically pick it up and fold it over itself so that you have even more cushion. So maybe that allows you to stay even longer with your knees. And same thing with your wrist, actually. Sometimes to have a break for my wrist, I like to use my knuckles instead and place my hands like this. It's totally fine. Okay, there are no rules. Let's focus, similar movement, really synchronizing the breath with the inhale and the exhale, looking at our lower body. So I want to bring your attention to your feet. I tuck my toes in tabletop so that I feel a slight stretch at the soles of my feet, the plantar fascia. It's a really nice stretch to do if you're standing for a long time or if you just have sensitive feet like me. We need to take extra care of them. The same movement as before. This time, let's bring our attention to our tailbone. And we begin our movement by pointing the tailbone upwards towards the ceiling, and see that naturally your belly drops towards the floor and you want to arch your entire back. So it's like a wave that is starting from your tailbone and moving up your spine. So if we now hit exhale and we point our tailbone towards the floor, towards our feet, then everything else moves and we arch our back. Again, inhale, tailbone up. Exhale, tailbone down. And continue focusing your attention on the low back. If you want to breathe very deeply and make some sounds. Nobody's watching you. You can do whatever you want. It's the beauty of doing this from your home. And if your body says that you should move in other ways and insist in an area that feels a bit sore, do it. Breathe deeply. Let's slowly stop the movement and unfold our mat and come back to sitting. So you can actually just start with your cat-cow like this. You don't need to do a ton of different movements every morning or wherever you want. Place your mat down, do some cat-cow, breathe deeply. Focus your breath with the movement, synchronize it, link it, and just notice how you feel. So let's sit however you're comfortable. So it could be cross-legged, could be butterfly legs like this, okay? It's fine, just take a moment to notice your spine. You can close your eyes if you want. Ease your weight on your sitting bones. You can move a little bit back and forth with your upper body just to notice where you're touching the floor. Lengthen your spine with the crown of your head towards the sky, so you create a very straight line. Breathe in and out. Drop your shoulders. You can close your eyes if you want, or just soften your gaze and maybe look just in front of you, not looking at anything in particular. Notice any particular feeling in your body. Just listen to the silence. If you notice any sounds, any thoughts, it's okay. Just notice them and let them move away. Just be. comfortable, you can open your eyes. And with this, I leave you until next time, and I invite you to begin yoga again with me. Thank you.